Hello and welcome everyone. You're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and I have omitted comments just so that I can focus. I encourage you to do comments after the video is done, but I hope that you enjoy the video. So we are here today doing, I guess, what I call witchcraft holiday cooking. I don't really know what else to call it. It's not your conventional holiday cooking, that's for sure. But we're going to add intent to everything that we do, and what we're focusing on here is organ meats. Organ meats are amazing for the teeth, the bones, the skin, the health in general, especially, in my opinion, of Rh-negative folks. So for me, I'm a self-healer, and a lot of us are. So I want to show you, before we get into too many things, what we've got going on. I went to the store yesterday, and around Christmas time, or around Yule time, we have lots and lots of options at the grocery store if you look, especially the specialty markets, but even the regular grocery store, like in the US we have Safeway, we have, Winco, other things like that. But if you look, there'll be a section in that they're usually frozen because, like, not a lot of people like them. It's like unconventional. Hello, unconventional, right? And super cheap and super good for you, but everybody's just scared of it. Why would you be scared of it? All right. So first of all, we have something that is the most common out of these uncommon things, and that is the chicken gizzards. Chicken gizzards. From my market, I can find them from all natural, like local Northwest farms to Northwest America. And see right here, you can see it. And look down below, $2.66. That's what I'm talking about. That is a lot of meat for $2.66. A lot of you are going to say, what's a gizzard? Because we don't have gizzards. We don't need them because we don't eat rocks. But chickens and turkeys, when they peck, like they... when they do their pecking, they will eat rocks. So they have an extra organ, just like when we grow an extra organ when we have a child, like the placenta. They have an extra organ within their body called a gizzard. And what it is for, as far as I know, like, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but the gizzard is there to filter out the rocks and the stones and little pebbles so that they don't go through their tract. Now, I don't know what happens to the rocks once they go in the gizzard, but if you guys know, you definitely should tell me. These are really common, especially in the Northwest, like, not at restaurants and such, but if you just, like, sometimes dive bars will have them, or like, delis will have them, etc. Yeah, chicken gizzards are good. And what a gizzard looks like, it looks like, kind of looks like this, yeah? Just recently I found turkey gizzards, and sadly the store that I went to yesterday did not keep their turkey gizzards. They were like, are those even any good? I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so much better. Turkey is a bigger animal than a chicken. So they tend to be more tender, they tend to be more easier to chew, but I actually do really enjoy the chewiness of the chicken gizzard. Yeah? Alright, next we have one that I've never tried before, and I'm very, very excited. It's turkey hearts. Now, when you're talking about chicken gizzards, chicken hearts is the next thing that I've been eating since I was a little kid. Turkey hearts are going to be like the turkey gizzards. They're going to be a lot easier to chew, more palatable, have like this beautiful, luscious flavor, in my opinion. And in a minute, we'll talk about how we add the intuitive magic to these organs, okay? Lastly, I found lamb tongue. Okay. We already know from watching my prior videos that lamb tongue is amazing for lamb tongue, any kind of tongue, cow tongue, lamb tongue, any kind of tongue is great for communication. And I chop those up and put them in the dehydrator for witchcraft workings, yeah? But now we're going to be eating them, and or offering them to deity, which I hope I don't forget to show all of these things. So basically, let's talk about the hearts. Turkey or chicken hearts are going to be, or even cow heart. I have beef heart in the freezer down there. Going to be amazing for love workings, passion workings. But when you cook them and when you eat them, you can also make this internal love, this internal passion, this internal, like self-love. You can do a lot of things like that. So the gizzards, as I said before, are a filter. A filter is good. Filter is good for people like me, especially if you are an air sign, a Gemini, and maybe you say too much sometimes. So I'm going to be using that, and when I cook it and when I eat it, I'm going to be, you know, blessing that to be a filter of its own. And again, the lamb tongue, how much was it? Oh, $4.37 for the almost 1 pound of lamb tongue. I've never tried lamb tongue before, but I really enjoy cow tongue. Grew up on a farm, so that was just one of the things, like we just ate all the parts of the animal, and that is so, I guess, pagan or witchcraft or whatever you want to call it, like earth living. Like if you're going to be a meat eater, then if you can, you should use all the parts of the animal. Okay, so how do we start all of this? We've set our intent, right? Hearts for love, self-love, passion, gizzards for filters. What else could you use gizzards for besides filters? Sifting through shite. Tongue, communication, speech. I'd love to see what you guys have intuitively, and I would love to see that in the comments. So I'm going to tip you down, and I'm going to show you how I prepare these things. And that's another reason why I don't have comments on this video, is because my hands are going to be touching raw meat, and I can't then touch my phone. That would be a bad idea. You don't need much to cook these. You just need your stove, you need some white flour, some salt, pepper, and then whatever herbs you'd like to add to them. I love to put a, once it's all said and done and they're fried up, then you can squeeze a little bit of citrus on the top, whether it be lime, lemon, or orange. My favorite is orange and lemon. Lemon first, orange second, lime third. And if I had some yuzu fruit, that would be my absolute favorite. My apologies for that. Let me, well, I can't turn the volume down now, can I? Alright, so let's tip you down and let's see what's going on. Okay, down below, I have this black plate. This is what I'm going to be leaving raw for my deity, okay? And that nest that I have outside that was built by nature, that's what I'm going to put the, a little bit of each raw thing onto this plate so that I can offer that to her. And I ingest it inside of my body, and I ask for that intention, and then I give it to her, and I ask for that intention as well. So, let's see, what should we do first? Let's do the things that don't touch your hands to meat first. So just like basic white flour, or if you have a nicer flour, like perhaps an unbleached flour, that would be really good. Peggy's got white flour, so that's what we're going to use. Patreon's down below if you want to support the channel. Check that out, because you can get exclusive witchcraft videos as well as music and what I'm up to and many other things. So I put a big like dredge of flour down below, because flour's super cheap. Like you can, I mean, don't waste it, but you can always add more, but get enough so where it's going to cover all of your stuff. And one of the things I really like to add to this, like basic, okay, so flour, what is it? It's wheat. So what does wheat mean to you? Use your intuition, go within and figure it out, and then look it up in a book. I cannot remember anything that Scott Cunningham says about wheat. So for me, I'm going to see it as growth, as sunshine. It's kind of like a golden yellow swaying plant. So maybe there's some movement to it, because wind often carries wheat. I don't know how to say it. When the wind blows, it moves. It's really beautiful. So then I take some nice sea salt, yeah, from the Costco. And I like fresh salt. Like Mom and Dad tend to use just these kinds of salt and peppers, but I really like the salt and pepper that you have to crack on its own. Because when you crack the spices and when you crack the salt, more of it's going to open up, and it's like it was in a cell and now all of a sudden it's open and helping your body. So when I pour the salt in here, I'm going to ask for protection. When I pour the flour in here, I'll hold my hands over and ask for beautiful movement, that raw energy, sunshine, Sagittarius. So I'm going to crack the salt in and ask for protection with everything that I'm doing here, okay? And you can have a nice good amount of salt, but remember when they come out of the fryer, you want to resalt them when they're still nice and hot. That is how you get the flavor on the outside. But to me, it's important you also put flavor into the flour, because flour is kind of just like that glutinous, I don't know, weirdness. Salt, protect me, protect all of my intentions. Salt, protect me, protect all of my intentions. Okay, now we're going to go to the fresh cracked pepper, black peppercorns. Black can be banishing. Pepper brings spice to your life. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. So, bring spice to my intentions, bring spice to my life. Banish any negativity that may be happening in my life right now. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your pepper. Shake your pepper. Oh. Alright, good. Plus that's just fun. Everybody knows. Alright, then get a fork. And you can just kind of like blend all of that together so it has some mild flavor within the flour. And then another thing that I often like to add is a little bit of cayenne pepper. Let's see if Peggy has any. Cayenne pepper or paprika works super well. So paprika has loads of magical intentions. Can't remember any of them, and I promised myself I wouldn't get a book out for working again. You could do your sigils, you could do your symbols in here over top of the flour. And this is just going to add a nice spice. Paprika is a mild red pepper, as far as I understand, that is been dried and then ground up. You could add, I don't know, tarragon, you could add rosemary, you could add whatever you want, but I say don't do too much to it because, in my opinion, it really just tastes good to taste the organ meats. Really, really good for self-care and dental health. I can't palate liver. I wish that I could. Like, sometimes I make myself choke it down, especially for certain workings that have to do with repairing my liver. But more often than not, I will add it to like a deity plate and ask my deity to protect my liver, okay? So we've got this nice dredge of flour that has now been seasoned with a few things, and so we'll just kind of set that aside. I've not done a cooking video in a long time. Since the old house, I don't think, so here we go. Flour's done, let's get it out of the way. I'm wearing all black and I'm working with flour, so that's going to be funny. I guarantee that at some point I'll have like a handprint on my side that's flour. That's a good one. You know, you can put your hair back if you want. I'm not too worried about my own DNA. Just other people's at the restaurant. So I guess first let's do the chicken gizzards because they are the most common. $2.66 for almost 1 pound of gizzards. Now again, these are going to be frozen. Maybe the best way to thaw these out is in the refrigerator, or if you want to have them same day, put them in a bowl of cold water. You don't want to put them in warm water because, you know, danger zone and all that. So here's what they truly look like. They don't look appetizing, but I promise you they are amazing. And here's what they look like once you pull them out. They kind of look like lungs or bollocks or whatever you think that they look like. They kind of look like eyes and a nose. Perhaps you could dry it out and make a poppet out of it. It kind of looks like an owl face. Woohoo! Woohoo! So yeah, I just make sure that they, and see they're still frozen on the inside a little bit. It's not really going to make too much of a difference except for when you put them in the oil. That water might make them crack a little bit more and pop, so you want to watch out for that. Perhaps I'll just fry the ones that are completely unfrozen along the outside. You're just going to drop them into your flour dredge. It's not too bad. And then the ones that are still frozen, I might pop right back in the freezer and save for another time. I mean, I could sit here and eat all of these meats throughout the day and tomorrow. But I do need to get some veg into my body. These are all still pretty frozen. There we go. Make noises when you cook. Talk to your food. Tell it how much you love it and appreciate what it's going to do for your body. I think that that's really important. Depends on the person, I suppose. Alright, I need to wash my little hands. Then I'll take the fork and I'll just kind of like cover them with flour. Another way that you can do this, and this is what Peggy really loves to do, is you can get like a paper bag or a plastic bag and put the flour in that, and once you put all your stuff in, you just shake up the bag and it covers everything. I like to do this because like I couldn't, there's the flour. I couldn't find a paper bag and I could only find plastic, so I did it in this glass dish. Whenever we're doing witchcraft, we want to avoid plastic as much as possible because the energetic vibration is not super helpful a lot of the time. I don't know a better way to say it, but you guys know what I mean. So this same flour I'm going to use for the lamb tongue and the turkey hearts, etc. So just make sure they're fully covered, like all the parts, and there's no more pink showing. Just because you want to have that coating on the outside that's going to give that nice crispy edge. And the most important thing, because I'm not going to show myself frying these most likely, I'll show them when they're all done. I'll come back for another live video and have some tastes with you, which I'm really excited about to taste it with y'all. But I don't want to fry on camera because I don't want to get my phone messed up. That's fine. Find another plate to put everything on. Love these black plates. These black plates Peggy has, it's so rural around here. Right. Fuck it, just use your fingers, you know. So these are the chicken gizzards. Really chewy, really nutritious. And they fry up real nice. Again, here in the Northwest you can find them in little pubs and you can find them in gas stations sometimes. I wouldn't trust it from a gas station, but I just do them myself, you know. It's way easier. And here we can find gizzards all year long from chickens. Turkey gizzards is another story. Alright, so we'll set that aside. Oh, and my deity, right. So my deity, I'll give her, yeah, it kind of looks like her. I'll give her this one. Beautiful. So I'm going to set that on the plate and offer that to her in her nature nest. Turkey hearts. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Patrick Swayze. Dirty Dancing. So funny. Alright, I crack myself up every day of my life. So, they are big. Chicken hearts are far less small than this. But that is a turkey heart. I've never made these before, so I'm actually going to cut them in half. Chicken hearts are about this big, and the turkey hearts are this. Chicken hearts are about this big, so you don't have to cut those in half, but I'm going to cut these before I do the dredge. The dredge. Sounds kind of creepy, yeah? Yeah. Let's just do 3, because then we'll have 3 for another time and 3 for another time. Love it. There's 3 through 3 in there. Ha! See how that works? Oh! My deity. I'll get this one. So where's a knife? Yeah. Doesn't work. So I just cut them into 4s. Slippery little suckers. Throw them in the flour. When you grow up on a farm, you're not really scared to eat a lot of things, like liver, like tongue, like hearts and gizzards, and what else? Chicken's feet, pig's feet. There's all kinds of stuff that we eat because we learn to live off the land. We learn to eat what we have. We learn to take advantage of every single thing that animal has to give and not just waste it or bury it. They're quite beautiful inside, though. I like them a lot. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll do the flour dredge again. I do like the word dredge, though. Kind of sounds like another word, but what is the word I'm thinking of? Hench? That's the word I was thinking of. My hench. So yeah, this will just be super nutritious, give me loads of energy through the day. As I am making these, I'm going to say over them, I am a self-healer. I take care of my own health and my own healing. And I'm going to ask the turkey spirit to please nourish my body, heal my bones, heal my teeth, heal my heart. Okay? Hard to do anything without music, but that's okay because it's rolling in my head. Alright, so now we've got that. You just want to make sure they're like nice and coated so you have a nice brownness to them. And I'm going to fry everything separately. Like, I'm going to keep the hearts separate from the gizzards. I'm going to keep the lamb tongue separate from the hearts and gizzards. And the reason is because they're all going to have different cooking times. So next we have the lamb tongue. And this is one that I've never tried before. Very excited to try it. Cow tongue is one of my very, very favorite things. A cow tongue is about this. I can't really show you. What could I show you with? Oh yeah, paper towel. Cow tongue is almost as big as a paper towel roll, which is pretty interesting. And when it's cooked on a plate, it totally looks just like a tongue. Great for communication, great for linguistics, any kind of, like, let's say you had a speech to do or something like that. You could take some parts of this and you could dry it in your dehydrator, just like you would jerky, I suppose, and use that in your workings. And I didn't list there's the top of the tongue where you can see the actual texture to it. They did cut it in half. I don't know why they cut it in half, but they did cut it in half. And so I'm going to give the tip of that tongue to my deity because it's so important that I get my communication skills like right down pat. So both with YouTube and in my personal life. So there is the tip of that lamb tongue. And now I have my deity's offering all ready to go. I'm going to put it out in that nature nest. So I'm going to save the other part of the tongue for another time and then cut this and fry it. And it's just the same thing. You dredge it in the flour. If it's still a little bit frozen in the middle, you're going to want to cut it down the middle again. But instead, I'm going to cut it super thin so that the bit that's kind of still cold and frozen in the middle is now just, the heat will get to it pretty quickly. If y'all didn't think I was weird before. So as you cut, ask, Lamb, Spirit, help me with communication, help me with my linguistics, help me with anything that you apply the tongue to. Just think intuitively, what do you use the tongue for? What does a lamb use the tongue for, etc. Organ meats aren't super fatty, but they have a nice like texture and chew to them, which I really adore. Whereas liver, it's not barely palatable, but for me, it's barely palatable. Again, I'll choke it down if I need to. Bone in there, yeah. So watch for bones in the lamb tongue. If you're cutting and you feel something really firm in the middle. There we go. You can tell the difference between bone and cartilage, by the way, just by the feel of the knife when it comes through. And so this is the part that went in the back of the throat, and there's just a lot there. I should actually offer that to deity as well because I can't use it. I can't eat bone. Peggy, we need sharper knives, I'm telling you. So this is kind of interesting. There's almost like a wishbone in here. A three-pronged wishbone. So I'm going to dig through that later and figure out kind of like, it's not like you're doing a divination or anything, but it's like if something comes up and you find a new bone in an animal, it's interesting to see what you get, like if you get a picture out of it. There's certain parts of turkey bones and turkey carcasses that look like axes, and I love to use those in my bone throwing kits. Okay, and then we're going to dredge these in the flour just like before, so I'll tip myself up so that we can chat while I do that. So we will be coming back for a really wicked video where we get to taste everything, and I can tell you my true opinions because, again, I've never tried turkey hearts, just chicken hearts, and I've never tried lamb tongue, just cow tongue. But chicken gizzards are amazing, and I haven't had them in, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. Probably more like 2 months. But if you haven't had something for a while, it's really fun to try and describe what it tastes like to somebody. I did a really cool video on tasting pickled pig's feet for the first time, even though they've been in my house and my family have them for years and years and years. Because I thought, why not? We're the Taxidermy Witch. We're supposed to be talking real truths, yeah? So once I get these out of the flour and wash my hands, I'll show you what we have before we fry, and after I fry, I'll come back. I usually fry on like, I usually fry in olive oil if I can, or a quality vegetable oil. And in my opinion, the best quality vegetable you could do is like a cold pressed vegetable oil, or not even corn oil, but cold pressed is going to be the best, like, from my research, the best quality for your body. And if you guys disagree, please tell me in the comments, because I could be getting my information from not the best source. But I know that some of these things look pretty harsh, like, why would you get a poor lamb's tongue? Well, here's the deal. Somebody else bought that poor lamb, which was the sacrifice or whatever, if you're whatever, that's maybe not the right wordage, but somebody else got the lamb, and should the tongue just be thrown away? No. The tongue should be eaten too, and that's how we can value the whole entire animal. And when you are eating meat on a budget, which I definitely am, organ meats are really one of the best ways to go. So let me show you this plate of what I'm going to be having for my lunch and dinner with some vegetables. And we have the gizzards, the chicken gizzards, we have the turkey hearts, and we have the lamb tongue. So it'll be exciting to come back and do a taste with you guys. So look forward to that. I sure do. And I love you guys very much. I hope that you're having the most beautiful holiday season. And I know that some folks were maybe turned off by this video, but there's a lot of folks that want to see more of what I really do and what I really eat and everything like that. And just remember, when you're doing meat, perhaps there's some deities that don't like meat, but every deity I've worked with really loves meat. Alright guys, I'll talk to you soon, and we'll have a taste. See ya! Ta! Peace.